The American Express Platinum card is one of the most hyped cards in the industry, but for good reasons. Although it comes with a hefty annual fee of $695, this video I'm going to break down all the fees and perks of this card, how to calculate whether it's right for you, and I'm also going to break down 2 key reasons why almost everyone who can qualify for this card should, at least for minimum of 1 year. Let's get into it. Yo, welcome to Guy Standard. My name is Leo. We cover a wide range of topics here, points and travel having to be one of the main ones. So all I ask is that you give the video a chance, you watch it, and then if you get some value from it, do all the things that YouTubers ask you to do, drop it a like, subscribe, all those different things. So the American Express Platinum card, and just so that we're clear, we're talking about the personal card. American Express does have a business version of that, but that will be covered in a later video. And this is one of the most prestigious cards available to the public. The cool metal titanium finish there looks really cool. It's heavy, so it feels really cool there. This is not a reason to get the card. This is just an added superficial perk there that comes along with it, especially with the hefty annual fee. Now, the American Express Platinum card only comes with one main bonus category spend there, which is 5x on airline flights that are booked directly with the airline website, or flights and hotel that is booked through American Express Travel. Now, the American Express Platinum card is a premium card because not only does it give you the category bonus spend, but it comes with a bunch of different perks. So I'm going to break that down into 2 different categories there, which is going to include different credits that you get back on the card for certain spend and categories, as well as travel perks like lounge access and loyalty status at different hotels and rent-a-car companies. So let's start with all the different perks that you get on this card, which by my calculation works out to be at least over $1,100. Starting with the $200 airline incidental fee, that one can be a little bit tricky to use. Now, the main intention of this is if it is that you need to get, let's say, an oversized bag or a change fee or something like that there with your specific airline. You choose the airline for the year. I live in Atlanta, so mine is set to Delta, and you can use all that for those fees. But for me personally, I've really found 2 main values in using this credit. One is if it is that I'm bringing my kids into the lounge, I'll use the $200 credit to cover their fee to get into the Delta lounge. Or I've also noticed that when it is that I book points on the Delta website and I have to pay for the taxes and fees, that also triggers the $200 credit. And at least once a year, I will book something on Delta where it is that I do need to pay those fees, and that will trigger it. So between that and the lounge, I normally get the full $200 out of that credit. The $200 hotel annual credit there, this one is a little bit more tricky, and I probably only value it at 80% to 50% of its value. It is a full $200 credit. However, I have found that when booking stuff on Amex Travel, it can be a little bit more expensive than booking through either directly with the hotel or through a different third-party website there. That can be a little bit frustrating. However, with this card on the hotel front, you also get access to American Express fine resort fees there, which usually you get some kind of credit while you're on property. So you just kind of have to see there. I've never called American Express to see if they'll actually match the price and still get the hotel credit. I do normally make use of this credit at least once a year, but I normally devalue it, at least in my calculations there, because sometimes, again, even though you get the $200 credit that you're using, it usually is cheaper getting the hotel somewhere else. Uber Cash there is solid. At least once a month, I'm going to take an Uber somewhere, and in the times that I don't take an Uber to go somewhere, it's also good on Uber Eats. Uber, I get the full $200 there because you can use it on rides and you can use it on Eats. Annual digital entertainment credit. This one has become a little bit more tricky for me because they've made some changes to the card recently. Originally, I was a big Audible person, so it was $15 on Audible, and then I was paying another, I think, $6 or $7 on Disney Plus there, and I was getting the full value of this credit there. It's broken down into $20 increments each month. Now that they've taken away Audible, I'm still trying to reconfigure the best way for me to do this. But if you do subscribe to, let's say, you have the Hulu bundle with Disney Plus, or you have Peacock, or you're big into New York Times, or the Washington Post there, then this credit would be really easy to use. Equinox credits I don't use. I don't live in a city that has an Equinox gym, or I don't use the app or any of the SoulCycle or any of that stuff, so I don't count that one at all. The Walmart credit is also a little bit tricky as well. I didn't count that in my calculations. It was a weird thing when American Express actually announced that they were going to be partnering with Walmart, because it didn't seem like there'd be much crossover. We do, however, use Walmart to order stuff to the house, and then you get free delivery, you get faster delivery, you get better customer service. If you're doing Walmart Fresh, you're ordering groceries and all that stuff. So we do get some value from it, but it's not something that I'd necessarily say that I would have signed up to get. So let's say we count that one at $50. The $189 statement credit that covers your Clear Plus membership, $100 statement credit for global entry, or $80 on TSA pre-check. That one's only used every 5 years there. Saks Fifth Avenue, I do get the full value of that there. Even though I don't necessarily shop at Saks, they do sell things that I would normally buy or my wife would normally buy. Things like your skincare products. So once a year, usually towards the middle of the year in June, I make sure I go ahead and take advantage of that. And then again at the end of the year, buy somebody a gift, or again, something that I would already normally be purchasing. I don't want to use these credits on things that I wouldn't normally purchase, because then that kind of defeats the purpose. Now let's get into the non-monetary perks that do have tons of value, but is subjective based on your particular situation. So lounge access is one of the biggest perks for this card. You get access to the American Express Global Lounge Collection, which includes the most coveted lounges there, the American Express Centurion Lounge. And they have really been building out this network. Atlanta just got one, and it's definitely the best lounge in the Atlanta area. I don't know how to really calculate the value of just the Centurion Lounge, but I can tell you it makes a travel experience a lot better. It's also coupled with, if you live in a Delta hub, you also get access to the Delta Sky Clubs with this card also. And then lastly, you get a Priority Pass membership that allows you to carry in 2 additional people with you as well. These I find to be a little bit more beneficial when I'm traveling internationally. Seems like across Europe, the Caribbean, South America, you tend to find that the lounges that are there are Priority Pass lounge access. That becomes really beneficial when traveling internationally. Couple that with the domestic perks of the Centurion Lounge and the Delta Lounge access there, this is really valuable also. I would say in general, depending on how often you travel, I'm going to put this at around $20 to $30 per person per trip. That's kind of how much you would spend if you had to go buy food and get drinks within an airport terminal. Couple that with the free Wi-Fi, fast Wi-Fi, and having a quiet area to sit in as opposed to just being in the terminal. Very beneficial. Then there's your other hotel travel perks there. You get gold status with Marriott and Hilton. You don't have to stay there, you automatically become gold. That can be really beneficial, because depending on where you're staying, you might get free room upgrades, you definitely get better customer service, you get late checkout. Not putting a value on that, but if you do travel a lot or enough, it's something you can take advantage of. Then, as mentioned before, you do get access to the American Express Fine Hotel and Hotel Collection program. These come with different perks when you're staying, usually an elevated experience. Typically, you get some kind of resort credit that you could use on massages or breakfast, free breakfast, stuff like that, as well as a room upgrade while it is that you're on property. So that can become really valuable depending on how often you use it. I'd put it at, let's say, roughly around $100 if you stay in one of these hotels. And then lastly, we have purchase protections, which I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, but have been coming really clutch for me. On the travel end, you have trip delay insurance and trip calculation insurance. If your trip is delayed by more than 6 hours for a covered reason, you may be eligible to get up to $500 per day to reimburse you for any expenses occurred. And then if your trip is canceled for a covered reason, think like being sick or something like that, then you're eligible to be reimbursed up to $10,000 per trip, which can come in really clutch. It also saves you from buying insurance on every single airline website that you see. And then warranty, purchase protection, and return protection, also really clutch. They will extend your warranty on a product for an additional year over the manufacturer's warranty. Really big. I've never had to use that one, but just the peace of mind of knowing that you didn't have to purchase an extended warranty, you're covered by American Express, goes a long way. Purchase protection, also a big one. I've had products that have broken within the 90 days. So anything that happens from theft to accidental damage or something, you'll be covered by American Express, and they will replace the full value of the thing if it was purchased on your Platinum card. And then return protection. If you're like me, sometimes you buy something, you're not sure if you can return it. The place might have a very restrictive return policy, or it's hard for you to get there. You didn't get there within the time period. For American Express, if you bought it up to $300, if it's past the return period but within 3 months, they will give you the money back for that item. Really big deal. So almost everything that we buy that's of high ticket value, or it has something where I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to return it or if the customer service is going to be good, I make sure that I buy it on my American Express Platinum, and that has come in really handy as well. Again, not something that I would put a particular value on against the annual fee, but these protections are a lot better than any other credit card out there. And even in comparison to something like Chase, the customer service for dealing with something like this is way better. Now, even though I just went through all those different perks there, and it can definitely see that allows me to keep the car year over year because it's way more value than the $695 there. Along with that, you do get a hefty sign-up bonus with this card. American Express typically advertises a $80,000 sign-up bonus there when you do get the card after a certain spend within 3 months. However, it is not uncommon to get an elevated sign-up bonus there for even 100,000, and some people even targeted for 125,000 points. Now, typically people will value points at about 1 cent per point, so at 80,000 sign-up bonus there would give you about $800 in value, but American Express points are so valuable. I would value them at somewhere in between 1.5 to 2 cents, even more than that. So you can see that you'd easily redeem almost $1,200 to $1,600, and if you're doing business class travel on airlines for those points, it's even way more valuable than that. So definitely that's one reason to get the card for at least 1 year. And then aside from the credits that are on a monthly basis, everything that's on an annual basis resets on a calendar year. So if you got the card in June and you use, let's say, your hotel credit and all of your $200 for your airline credit, you're also able to use that stuff again as soon as January or February, before it is that you have to pay your next annual fee. So it becomes really lucrative. Again, I think it's something that you should do at least for 1 year and then kind of reassess, at least just to get the sign-up bonus and also all the different perks that has this card. I've had my card for over a decade now, and it's still worth it from year to year, even with all the changes that they make. I love the lounge access. I love all the different stuff for when it is that we do travel. So links will be down below to kind of point you in direction on where you need to go to get this card, or see if you could get a sign up bonus there. Hit the subscribe button and the notification button to see more content like this on the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Big up yourself. Peace.